Back here in the U.S., the U.S. Supreme Court is hearing arguments on a $10 billion lawsuit Mexico filed against U.S. gunmakers. The Mexican government tried to hold U.S. manufacturers like Smith & Wesson and Interstate Arms accountable for their part in supplying weapons to drug cartels in their country. All right, so break down the case and more. Let's bring in CBS News chief legal correspondent Jan Crawford. Jan, great to see you. Thank you for being with us. It's interesting because this case is coming during a really tense time between the U.S. and Mexico. We've got tariffs, we've got illegal immigration enforcement, and the Trump administration designating Mexican cartels as terrorist groups. How does this case play into all of that?
You know, that's such a great question, and it kind of shows that you don't really know what the timing of a lawsuit is going to be when it actually does reach the Supreme Court. I mean, obviously, this case has been percolating for a while. It's gone through the trial court, then the appeals court, and now, of course, it finally has reached the United States Supreme Court. And, you know, how is it going to play into all this? I honestly don't think it will at all, because I think Mexico is obviously going to lose this case. I mean, the justices today on both sides of the aisle, the conservatives and liberals like Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, very skeptical of Mexico's arguments that it should be able to hold gunmaker Smith & Wesson and a distributor accountable for the gun violence that is caused by the cartels in this country. They're arguing that upwards of, 500,000 guns are getting smuggled into Mexico illegally every year, that 70 to 90% of those guns are being recovered at crime scenes by the cartels, and that the makers and the distributors should have some responsibility for that because they knew or should have known that was going to be used for criminal activity. So they're aiding and abetting the commission of these crimes by the cartels. That is a bridge, I think, that is going to be too far for these justices. And there's a reason for that. There's a 2005 law that was passed by Congress that sets a very high bar for these kind of lawsuits against the gun industry. And the justices today very skeptical that Mexico was going to be able to clear that bar.
Well, the news today, of course, was about the tariffs. I'm curious, though, will that play into this case at all?
That, again, I mean, I think it's hard to see how it would, because the justices, and this was such a technical argument, looking at the specifics of this law and whether or not that actually could apply here, that I don't think that will at all. But to your point, it definitely comes at a time when we have these heightened tensions. We see the Mexican president is going to be meeting with President Trump later this week. But this is a case between the gun makers and Mexico. Like, the federal government's not involved at this point. And I don't think that there's really going to be a need for anything to happen here, because I think the court is going to say, yes, victims of gun violence can sue, but there's a high bar. I mean, obviously, the Sandy Hook victims were able to sue, and they were settled for almost $100 million, but three-quarters of that. But it's going to be hard, and I just don't see any way that Mexico's lawsuit that they're trying to sue is going to get any further than this, Liz.
While I have you here, Jan, I want to ask you about another case we're watching today. Supreme Court justices holding an emergency hearing after a Seattle judge blocked Trump's executive order to suspend the U.S. refugee resettlement program. What more can you tell us about that case?
Well, that is one of several cases that the Supreme Court right now is kind of weighing, in their private conferences or behind closed doors, nothing public, of course, whether or not and when they're going to get involved in some of these Trump executive orders. So we've got a number of them already where the justices are kind of deciding what they're going to do next. Obviously, a lot of lower court judges are blocking some of these executive orders, especially the ones where Trump is trying to fire people or freeze funding. And so the court is considering whether or not Trump has that authority or whether or not the lower court rulings can stand, and whether the court's going to step in and put some kind of pause on them. So that's something that could come anytime this week, next week. We just don't know. But we're really waiting to see that, because obviously a conflict, when the first of these Trump cases reach the Supreme Court, it's going to be really interesting to see what they say about presidential power, Liz.
We're all going to be watching. CBS News chief legal correspondent Jan Crawford. Thank you so much, Jan. Always great to see you.